human condition, they indeed are the very reason why God became incarnate in Jesus Christ, to accept our humanity to God's self, and to totally immerse God's self in the person of Jesus Christ, to accompany us through the human condition, and to realize, especially those who are on the margins, are loved by God. That wonderful tradition within our faith community, the Catholic Church, is demonstrated and reflected so well by our Holy Father, Pope Francis, both in word and in deed. He instructs the pastors to go out to the margins, to the periphery, to meet those who really, truly need to hear this amazing good news that they actually are, above all else, loved by God. And then physically he does this. From the day of his election, well, even before, when he was Archbishop, the reason he lived a simple life is to demonstrate that he really appreciates the necessity of a pastor being with his people, especially again in the simple life. So as Archbishop, he rode the city bus to work, lived in a simple apartment, and so on. And then at the time of his election, in fact, when in the conclave, when the votes were getting higher and higher, and it was clear that this Archbishop of Argentina would become the Pope, the cardinal next to him leaned over and says, "Do not forget the poor." And after he was elected, he said, that stuck in my heart. So he chose the name Francis, saint, who emptied himself of his wealth to likewise identify with the poor. We have right now an opportunity where we see our Holy Father and the rest of our collective body in the Catholic Church addressing what is perhaps the biggest crisis right now on planet Earth in terms of those who are marginalized. And that's the issue of the refugees and the displaced people. In the history of planet Earth, we have never, ever had the numbers that we have today. 65 million people displaced. The numbers are just overwhelming. When we see the body of that little 4-year-old in the sand who had drowned on the shores of Greece, it touches our hearts. But to comprehend the awesomeness of the destitution of the numbers, just incredible. 2 days ago, I watched a short documentary which is nominated for an Academy Award. And it features a captain of a rescue boat on a little island, Greek island of Lesbos. Just one day. How he and his crew are called out to rescue these refugees in the Mediterranean. A short stretch across the Mediterranean where literally thousands of people have drowned, many children. Powerful film. Well, Pope Francis went to Lesbos, this very little island with a little village that has this burden of rescuing and welcoming these refugees. Pope Francis went there to embrace, and literally embrace these refugees, to demonstrate as the physical sign, the leadership of our church, where our hearts and minds should be. We just read the Beatitudes, which is the beginning of that great Sermon on the Mount. Make sure you're still awake. For the rest of these Sundays till Lent, we'll be reading parts of this great sermon where Matthew pulls together these critical teachings about Jesus. Well, Pope Francis, in one of his many addresses on this issue of the refugees, he spoke about the necessity of us responding to the refugees. And I picked this little short text from his talk because he references the Beatitudes. I'm not making this up. You cannot be a Christian without living like a Christian. You cannot be a Christian without practicing the Beatitudes. You cannot be a Christian without doing what Jesus teaches in Matthew 25. That's later in the same gospel, the judgment scene. Did you feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the prisoners? He said you cannot be a Christian. Earlier in his talk, he said the most serious sin, or the sin that Jesus condemned the most, is hypocrisy. Remember his clashes with the leadership, the powerful, in his own faith community? You hypocrites. So he continued, he said, it's hypocrisy to call yourself a Christian and chase away a refuge. It's hypocrisy to call yourself a Christian and chase away a refuge or someone seeking help. To toss out someone who is in need of my help. If I say I'm a Christian but do these things, I am a hypocrite. Powerful, powerful teaching and example of our Holy Father. You know, in the Bible, shot through all the way up to the time of Jesus, whenever the prophets or those who were calling the believers to task, they would say, here's the measuring stick. How did you take care of the widow, the orphan, and the alien? That's code language. That's code language for those who are vulnerable. That will be how we will be judged. After our president gave these executive orders, immediately our Catholic bishops, the U.S. Catholic bishops, came out with a statement. We strongly disagree with the executive orders halting refugee admissions. Here again, this is the Catholic Church represented by our leadership. We believe that now more than ever, welcoming newcomers and refugees is an act of love and hope. We will continue to engage this new administration, as we have all administrations, for the duration of this current refugee crisis. The United States has long provided leadership in resettling refugees. We believe in assisting all those who are vulnerable, and fleeing persecution, regardless of their religion. This includes Christians, as well as Yazidis, the Shia Muslims of Syria, Rohingyas from Burma, and all other religious minorities. We need to protect all our brothers and sisters of all faiths, including Muslims. They are children of God and are entitled to be treated with human dignity. We believe that by helping to resettle the most vulnerable, we are living out our Christian faith as Jesus has challenged us to do in these very scriptures. Our own bishop, Bishop Kettler, last month in his Christmas message, wonderful reflection. I sent him a note thanking him. He used as his starting point the Holy Family, fleeing as refugees themselves. And he said, like them, I want to assure all the immigrants and refugees of my ongoing support and the support of this diocese. We value the gifts they bring you, he addresses the refugees. We value the gifts you bring to our communities. We stand with you, and we will help you as much as possible so that you may feel safe and welcome in your new home. This is what our faith commands us to do, to love our neighbor as ourselves. That was in the opening prayer this morning. We ask God to help us to love one another as he has loved us. Also, immediately after these executive orders, a coalition of believers, interreligious, not just ecumenical, but all religions, drafted a letter. The signers of this letter, it's a one-page letter, but the people who signed it cover virtually every faith tradition imaginable. All kinds of bishops, Methodists, Lutheran, Baptists, our own Cardinal DiNardo from Galveston, Houston, one of the leaders in the Catholic Church, Muslim communities, organizations, Jewish communities, about 150 major signers. On the local level, I signed it as the Director of Catholic Relief Services for our diocese. But again, a very clear statement of what these various faith groups draw from their sacred texts, like we are reflecting this morning. And they start out simply saying, this nation has an urgent moral responsibility to receive refugees and asylum seekers who are in dire need of safety. Today, more than 5 million Syrian refugees, these are a lot of the folks that we reflected on that drowned in the Mediterranean. More than 5 million Syrian refugees fleeing violence and persecution, and hundreds of thousands of civilian casualties. The United States has an ethical obligation as a world leader to reduce this suffering and generously welcome Syrian refugees into our country. Very well articulated statement. I mentioned as a person representing Catholic Relief Services, I'm very proud that almost daily I hear what our Catholic Relief Service workers are doing in about 100 countries around the world, representing you and me. And a lot of their work is with displaced people, this huge crowd of folks. So it's something that we can take pride in, that the face of Christ is represented so well by the Catholic Church here in the United States. This is obviously a pretty heavy homily this morning. But I think, on the other hand, it's a reason for us to feel deeply and profoundly grateful that we have been graced to be a part of this world faith community, the Catholic Church.